Hey guys, welcome to the second episode, I guess you could call it, of our baby series. Today we are talking about our first corn clutch. That is our Tessera Het honey mom.
And here I have our honey male. And honey is actually caramel sun-kissed. Both are recessive genes. And then she is the dominant trait, Tessera. So in this clutch, we're expecting 8 different possibilities. So we have a lot of really, really cool snakes to show you.
The thing we're looking forward to the most in this clutch is a honey Tessera.
And last year we produced eggs from this pairing. And we got pretty much everything but a honey Tessera. So I really, really hope that we hit it this year.
Crossing our fingers. Let's see what we have.
Let's do it. Our first corn snake clutch has all had their first shed, or at least the majority of them. We'll see when we go through. But first, I would like to thank our Patreon supporters. They make all of this possible, whether it be the podcast and YouTube. Thank you guys so much. And if you guys don't know, if you are a patron, $3 a month will get you first shout, as far as I will put the animals on there first before I make them available to the general public. So you get first shot on a lot of really, really cool animals, as well as there'll be some Patreon exclusive animals and you'll get some discounts. So I'm hoping that being a patron of our Patreon will be worth it to you guys and kind of pay you back in a sense where you'll get your money back in discounts. So please, please check it out. I would really appreciate it. And thank you, all of you who are current patrons. Here is our first baby. I can see him right on top of there. Get a good shot of that. Beautiful caramel motley baby. And you may be saying, hey, you guys never said it was het motley. Well, we didn't know. So last year we did the same pairing and none of the babies came out motley at all. So this was a really big surprise. And if they are het motley, why didn't any of the other babies from this clutch, just from my first look at them, none of them were motley either. I'm just really surprised that this threw any type of motley, because genetically it doesn't seem to make sense, but corn snakes are like that. Some things just pop out, whether it's hidden genetics that you didn't know since a lot of the genes are recessive, or it's just a freak thing. I'm not sure what to think about it. So what motley does is changes the pattern. So you can see that it has circles going down on its saddles on the back there. And the sides are kind of cleaned up a little bit different than a normal corn snake would, as well as the belly is typically very aberrant. This one's almost clear, which is really, really cool. But this here is a little caramel motley corn. What we're going to do is we are going to sex all of the animals, as well as place them in their enclosures, as well as doing all of our record keeping. If you want to see more about that, go to our Florida king snake video, which is before this one, and it goes through a little bit more of the process. This one we're going to talk a little bit more about the genetics of each animal and show off everyone, since we have such a diversity in this clutch. Now let's sex this animal here. Our beautiful caramel motley. From the tail it looks like a boy. Let's see if I'm right. I don't think I'm right. This here is a girl. So this will be much like our Florida king snake setup for our babies, but obviously corns are a little bit smaller and they're a little bit better at escaping, so we need to make sure it's 100% escape proof. So what we did is we used these takeout containers which you get from Amazon, and we also use the Haft toilet paper or paper towel rolls as a hide. We fill it up with a generous amount of aspen. You can also use cocoa fiber, and then we're using this condiment cup that we got from a restaurant wholesaler for a water dish. And then look, let's see, that substrate, putting that much substrate in there will give them a great hide in order to burrow in and just kind of explore the enclosure a bit. And this is obviously just a temporary setup for the animals that we are going to be selling in the future. We will move them up probably in 2 to 3 months into a bigger enclosure, but this will be good for now. So what we're going to do now is write all of our record keeping stuff, and then in probably 2 or 3 days, once they get settled in, we'll offer them their first feed. So we're gonna dig around for more babies. There's definitely a lot in here, but they all go to the bottom and bunch together. I can see a couple of them haven't shed. Ooh, we'll save some of these for later, huh? I can tell what a lot of them are. Check it out. This is another caramel, but this is actually a caramel Tessera. And caramels come out a bit darker, so it can be a little bit hard to tell them from normals. but I'm somewhat confident, well, very confident that this one's a caramel rather than a normal tessera, but I'll give it a few sheds just to make 100% sure. But look at how deep those browns are. Very chocolatey with very, very high contrast on the background coloration there. So this is our first caramel tessera that we've ever hatched out, so it will be fun to watch how this one progresses as it goes on, because with each shed they get a little bit lighter. So let's sex this guy. Or girl, we'll see. Let's see what we got here. Let's hope for a male. So there you go. So those two are hemipenes. It can be a little hard to tell because sometimes you can get those scent glands, but those are very obvious hemipenes. We got ourselves a male. I'm not going to go through all the animals, but I wanted to show you guys a male and a female. So there you go. Here's a male corn snake caramel tessera, and corn snakes are a lot easier to sex as babies rather than adults, so therefore popping is a very effective method as babies, but it can be, I mean, I've never popped an adult corn snake. I'm sure it could happen, but probing is going to be a much better method, or the tail method, and I could explain that, but you really need someone to teach you all about that in person. But we're going to put our little male away. Mad dash, I want to get this little guy out. We did it. Oh, almost. Go, go. Check this out. I'm not sure if this guy has shed yet. I think it did. It's just a little like weirdly muted, but this here is a sun-kissed. And to be honest, this is probably by far the nicest sun-kissed I've ever hatched out. It has some large saddle patterns as far as there's large borders around the saddle pattern there, as well as just the amount of reddish orange that's coming through on this animal. Super impressive sun-kissed. I really, really like this animal, even though this is probably one of the simpler things that we could have hatched out. Sometimes when the simple things are done very, very well, I really, really enjoy those just as much as, you know, hitting the honey tessera, you know, the thing with 3 genes in it. This sun-kissed can get me just as excited because it's a great example of one, and that's what we're going for. No matter what we produce, we want the best example of everything.
So because you like it so much, does that mean you're not going to want to sell it?
No, because unfortunately I can produce nice sun-kissed year after year, and it's just not fitting with the long term. Ew, it just went to the bathroom. Huh?
That was so loud. I thought it was like a pin drop. Like literally it made a plop sound.
So when you hold baby corn snakes, especially in the beginning, most of them will poop and pee on you because they're just super nervous. They're super vulnerable, tiny little snakes. So let's not mess with this one too much anymore. But I'm glad we got to hatch this. Like I said, we're not going to keep it just because it doesn't make sense in the long term. But I really, really love this snake. Okay. I know which one I'm going for. Yeah, so I don't think this one has shed out yet. Mm-hmm. And the other thing about this one is I do not know if this is a normal or a caramel.
I'm leaning towards normal, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. We'll see after a couple sheds. Even if it is a normal, since the parent was a visual honey, we know that it's going to be a 100% het caramel sun-kissed or honey. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the tessera, so tessera is a dominant gene. Therefore, this does not hold the gene for tessera, but it does have the recessives for the honey. So this is an amazing little either het honey or caramel het sun-kissed. We will see with time. Usually a couple sheds will give me a lot more light into this. Just at first appearance, this looks like another caramel tessera. Looks very similar to our other guy. And let's see if we can get a female caramel tessera. The cool thing about tessera is that it really busies up the pattern all over the place. So this here looks like a female, even though there are protruding things. I believe those to be the scent glands. So this here is a beautiful snake. This is actually a normal as well. I think I thought he was about to take a bite out of me just like he tried to do you before, but this is a normal, but man, is this a beautiful normal corn snake. And it will get redder with age, but look at that cool blushing that's on his neck and behind his head, and some of the red and oranges coming through here, a very nice burgundy. This will be a beautiful corn snake. Check it out. This is another beautiful sun-kissed corn snake. So het caramel is what in the hobby we call a visual het, which means that even though it's a het, which technically it's not a het because it shows through and it will brighten any of the other genes. So this is a sun-kissed het caramel, and it's such a bright, beautiful sun-kiss, probably in part to the fact, hey,
you just want...
And this is such a these things are gonna eat amazing. If he acts like this, then he's going to eat very well. But this sun-kiss is probably so beautiful in part to the fact that it is het caramel, and that het caramel is showing through and making a very, very bright sun-kiss, an amazing animal. A little bit of a bitey little guy, but not a striker, but just a weird kind of food bite that it doesn't really happen that often, but we know he's gonna feed good. So this is a very interesting animal, and I think it looks this way because this one actually hasn't shed yet. So if I didn't mention it before, this here is a caramel tessera. This looks to be one of our smaller animals out of the clutch, and this is another one that hasn't shed yet, but it is another caramel tessera. How did we not hit any caramel tesseras last year, and this year we're just inundated with caramel
Popping
tesseras.
them out like crazy.
All we had was one caramel all of last year, and now, I don't even know, what do we have, like 3 or 4 caramels already, so that's fun, always good to diversify, but I really, really like the sun-kissed tessera, so I hope that we have more of those. I haven't thoroughly looked through this clutch, so I'll find out when you find out.
But just 2 so far, sun-kiss, right?
Right, but no sun-kissed tesseras.
Oh, right.
Sun-kiss, when it reacts with the tessera gene, just obliterates the pattern and makes for like a very pixeled pattern, and just makes for a really, really cool animal. So hopefully we get to show you one. Who knows? Here it is, guys. I'm pretty sure this is it. I didn't realize how many animals actually haven't shed yet, so this is our target animal right here. At least I think it is. Who knows? Maybe it sheds out when it's more red, but it sure looks honey to me. This is our caramel sun-kissed or honey tessera. So this is the double recessive, the caramel, the sun-kissed, as well as the dominant trait tessera. Took us a long time, but we finally hit it. Now let's hope that, well, it would be nice if we had a male and a female, but let's see what we have to be working with here. You definitely want a male to pass on the genetics to as far as if a male honey tessera breeds to the tessera het honey, then you obviously have more of a chance of hitting honey. So therefore, it could be a very integral part of our future projects.
Are you keeping both these back or whatever of these that
I'm
we
not
hit?
sure. I'm not sure if I will keep these back. I will. Depends on the sex. You can see only one hemipene's coming out. Let's see if we can pop out the other one. But it is certainly a male. Boom, hemipene. This male will be the key to our future projects. He will pass on his genetics and make some other amazing honey tesseras. We got pretty lucky this time. I mean, there's a 1 in 8 chance, so we got unlucky last time, but I think we got lucky this time. It'll also be nice if we can see him after he sheds, huh?
Yeah, look even better.
Here is another sun-kiss, another animal that hasn't shed. So it seems like the flighty ones were just the ones that shed, and then the ones that didn't shed are kind of calm and on the bottom there just hanging out. But so we kind of jumped the gun as far as doing this, but that's okay. I'm sure they will all shed within 24 to 48 hours, so no big deal. We have unveiled 11 of the 12 snakes so far. And well, we kind of gave it away, didn't we? We have another honey tessera, but the important thing here is what sex will it be? Will we have a pair of honey tesseras? Because that would be really great. So as you can see, the sun-kissed influence with the caramel really breaks up that pattern, much like a sun-kissed tessera, which we did not hit this time, but don't worry, I'm not mad because we got honey tesseras, so this will do for me, but let's see if we can make it a pair. And like the other honey tessera, unfortunately this one has not shed yet, so we're not giving you the best showing of what a honey tessera looks like, but
if you follow us on Instagram, we will of course post pictures of these guys after they've shed.
So let's see if we have a male or a female here. Oh, I can already see it's another male. we have 2 males. So the question is, are we gonna have to hold back both of these males just to see which one we like better? I think that's what we'll do. And then maybe we will release one of the males after, you know, a little bit, after we pick our favorite one. Even though they're both beautiful, I'm sure there'll be one that has a little bit more of a desirable trait than the other. And this guy is actually starting to shed right in our hands. You see his shed coming off right there. So kind of like our Florida king snake video, we have a snake coming out mid-shed, but this time I'm not gonna aid and assist. It's a little bit early in the process. So I'm going to put this male back and make sure that he has a nice shed and a nice relaxed environment to put on his new coat, I guess you could say. So we have been pooped on, peed on, and even chewed on, and we are finally done separating this clutch of 12 amazing babies.
These are our favorite 2 snakes from this clutch. I have the caramel motley, which I just think it kind of looks like leather. The caramel makes it so dark, and I think that's why it's one of my favorites.
Just like a dark mahogany coloration to it. It's sometimes even like burgundy-ish, but it will lighten up a bit. And here is my favorite. It's the first sun-kissed that we saw. Just such amazing reds and oranges. It just almost looks like it's on fire. So I really, really love this snake. This is my favorite, but please comment down below and tell us what your favorite corn snake was from this clutch. And please, like, comment, subscribe. And if you made it this far, you're on the team.